Honorable Chair, my name is God former board chairman, Durham District.
Last time you came in, you dressed in a very nice suit, also wearing a tie today. I see that you're not wearing a tie, and you know the thing rules of thing Parliament. As a thing lawyer, you've got to respect such institutions. It is critical when we're coming to Parliament to know how well dressed we should. And today I see you have no tie.
Sorry, Honorable.
Yeah, we expect lawyers to understand the Constitution more than us and to comply with the rules of Parliament. Thank you. Next.
Morning, Chairman. I'm Luca Tino, 18 General Manager for ZRP.
Morning, Chairman. My name is Karikai Chimina, Group Human Resources Manager for ZMDC.
Good morning, Chairman. My name is Jonathan Maiwasha, Editor Chief Finance Officer for ZMDC.
Good morning, honorable members. I'm Chiparo Tinashe, the Company Sector and Legal Advisor at ZMDC.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Titus Msanga, ZMDC member of the board.
Morning, Chair. My name is Nakmo Faragi Osoko. I'm the Group Chief Security Officer for the Zimbabwe Mining Development Corporation.
Morning, honorable members. My name is Colonel Lawrence Kondo, retired. I'm the Group Mechanical Engineer for the Zimbabwe Mining Development Corporation.
I think before we proceed, I see that former Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Ignatius Chombo, maybe you can introduce yourselves. I think you still belong to the state. I think you're here in your capacity as former Minister of Foreign Affairs. So sorry if it's mines. Most of the people we've invited here, some of them are former permanent secretaries of the various ministries and former ministers. So if it's in line with that ZMDC, it means it's mining, you may as well introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and your committee. My name is Ignatius Chombo, former Minister for Home Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Walter Chidakwa, former Minister of Mines and Mining Development.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Principal Shideo, former Secretary for the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development.
And with mines in terms of hierarchy. ZCDC.
Morning, Chair. I'm Samgeso Ndewele, the Corporate Secretary.
Morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Maurice Pofu, CEO of ZCDC.
The JVs that we're working with, ZDC, will you introduce yourselves? Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Brian Mataruka, Legal Advisor to PURDM DMC, a former JV partner with the ZMDC in the Zimbabwe in Diamond Mining Corporation.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. I'm Jabulani Mukoko, the former CSO for Mother Diamonds.
Say CSO, we don't know what it is.
Oh, sorry, Honorable Chair. Chief Security Officer.
Thank you.
Morning, Chair. My name is Joseph Sibanda, the Managing Director of Reira Diamond.
Morning, Chair. My name is Itai Munyez, I'm Managing Director of Biominerals, a partner with ZMDC for GM.
Will you switch off your mics as soon as you
Morning, Chair. My name is Bless Mochanakira, a Director for Biominerals.
Just switch off your mic, please.
Morning, Chair. I am Mr. Takuma Secretary, Angie Investment. Morning, Chair and honorable members. I'm Shingwa Nameleke, the General Manager and Investments.
Morning, Chair. I am Yaraz Machacha, a board member with Angie.
Are there any other introductions? Please, may we proceed to the next level? The communities from Amarange.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Chair. My name is Maude Muliwa. I am the chairperson of Marange Development Trust. I am also one of the affected communities by mining.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I'm Bernard Kusena, the project administrator for Marange Development Trust. Thank you.
Are we done with the introductions of the mining houses, the police, and okay, we'll go to the media now if we're done with those introductions. Media.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Victor Chihuri. I'm with Alpha Media Holdings.
Good morning, my name is Andrew Kumambula, and the Daily News.
Morning, everyone. My name is Precious Moron for Alfonso.
When you compare the freelance to news.
Good morning, my name is Gordon Mabuya, VOA.
Good morning, my name is Daniel Chikmundu, Open Finance ZRP.
Good morning. My name is Sophia Mapranga. I'm a freelance journalist.
ZBC.
Okay, thank you very much. We realize that the former Commissioner General, Dr. Augustine Chihuri, is not here. Is there any reason that you might know why he's not here, Commissioner General?
Honorable Chair, I communicated with my secretary, and maybe we might shed some light on that. I am not in picture.
Secretary, what would be your response?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Upon receipt of your the minutes from Parliament, I did ask the police to contact the individuals as per that minute, and I received the letter very late, and it became a problem in actually locating some of the individuals. They could not be located at their known addresses, and the same as for the former Commissioner General. Nobody could tell us where he is. Thank you.
So, honestly speaking, this country must believe that the former Commissioner General is not known where he is.
Honorable Chair, it is my responsibility to advise this House that I must be in picture of whoever, to advise you of the presence or the whereabouts of certain people. Unfortunately, like my secretary is saying, I only received the invitation letters yesterday afternoon. And in all honesty, Honorable Chair, it is also very honorable any invitation to give time to the invited people to prepare themselves. So I was going to say on the same note, now that I had received the invitation letters yesterday, I am in the process of looking for the individuals, and we need them to prepare themselves for this meeting. And with your indulgence, I was going to say if we could be given another date for them to come. But of course, I now have some insight of who did what. But of course, on the same note, I feel that they must come and talk on their behalf. So really, Honorable Chair, I was going to say it would be very unfair on my part to say the Commissioner General does not know who lives where, who does not know who is where. It is really my responsibility. Given enough time, I will come back to this house and say, Mr. Chihuri, is it his house at number so and so, or is not at his house? Definitely, I will do that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I also see that the Central Intelligence Organization is not here. And is anyone representing the Central Intelligence Organization? Also, Professor Kujanga is not here. Does anybody have an idea? We also invited former Minister of Finance Tendai meeting in line with his projections of diamonds revenue. That's why we invited him to be here, because the way projections which were given to the nation when he was Minister of Finance of how much diamonds would contribute to the fiscus. We see he's not here again. Members, can you excuse us with the thing? We'll try and talk about it to the committee and then we'll call you back, because I think it is important that you understand we have to do this properly. And I do take into consideration. Okay, my members have said we'll leave you seated, we'll go and caucus somewhere else and then come back with a response. But I think the thing proposal by Commissioner General Matenga makes sense. This issue has got to be dealt with once and for all. There's no ways that we can continue with key players not being here. I want to appreciate others who have been making it here. Dr. Chombo, Honorable Chidakwa is here, the PM Secretary is here, Honorable Secretary is not here. We equally wanted the Minister of Mines, also who's the Permanent Secretary who are in office, to equally be here. And we indicated this the last time, that this issue has got to be dealt with once and for all, with everyone being here, so that we just finish this matter once and for all, because it cannot continue. And it only makes sense that the key players are in this. So we will leave you to enjoy your thing water. Make sure you don't take the thing chair seat, but you can be all over. We'll come back to you. Thank you.
Understand the goings on that happened at the diamond mining field. It remains to be seen whether Parliament is now becoming truthful or whether it will be stiff and back.
go home. So, yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your patience. The committee has resolved the following, that we all meet on the 9th of April with everybody here. You'll be given ample time to notify. We've also we've also resolved ZMDC were responsible for bringing Central Intelligence Organization. You have not responded to why CIO is not here. The former Director General Hapiton Bunyongo and the current Director General Ambassador Moyo, may ZMDC respond on why they did not bring a joint venture partner with them. Let me just get a response from ZMDC pertaining to joint venture partner, Central Intelligence Organization. The Army is here, the police are here. Central Intelligence Organization is not here.
Thank you, Chairman. We tasked our Chief Security Officer to follow up on all our partners. He can give a response to that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I made a follow-up to the task and targeted Mr. Madzingira, who used to be a board member of the joint venture. And I learned that he had left the country for Dubai on some other duties.
Speaking of dealing with the former board members, here is an institution. We don't deal with individuals. There's a Director General Ambassador Moyo, who's he's responsible for the running of the affairs of the Central Intelligence Organization. Why did you not go to the Director General, who's in office right now?
I had initially communicated to Mr. Madzingira, who had shown interest in attending this issue, but it later emerged that he had been sent out on duties.
I'm trying to guide you. The Director General of the Central Intelligence Organization is Ambassador Moyo. He's responsible for the organization, and he's the one that you must see. You actually expose a lot now when you tell us you're dealing with Madzingira. Who is he in terms of responding on behalf of the institution? The Chief Accounting Officer of the institution is the Director General CIO, and that information must go to him. We're dealing with institutions, we're not dealing with individuals.
Point has been.
You direct your correspondence to the Chief Accounting Officer of the Central Intelligence Organization. Thank you.
Point has been taken note of, sir.
In that regard, we also want the former Director General Hapiton Bunyongo, who was there during the time to be here. We must make this clear. We don't want to be coming back and forth. All those officers who were in office during the time that you have to respond to here must also be here. Equally, Commissioner General, the officer commanding Manicaland must be here, because this is the very same area where the troops were deployed. And I know with your command, the service charter is very clear. Officer in charge to chief, to the dispo, to the provincial commanding officer, then to the Commissioner General. This is what we read. So even the officer in charge of the station must be here, because you are an institution, and that's what your service charter says. Unless I'm wrong, Commissioner General, but let's say the officer in charge of where it happened here, the officer commanding district where it happened here, the provincial officer commanding of Manicaland here during the time it happened, and then the Commissioner General. Is that understood, Commissioner General?
Honorable Chair, well understood. I will make sure that all those people will be here. I got no question about that. Thank you.
We also wanted Professor Kujanga here and Sukutua, the police who assist us in identifying these people so that they can also appear before us. I think we would need your assistance from a constitutional point of view, Commissioner General, that you must know where every citizen is. And that is the mandate that you have from a constitutional point of view, so you must help us in identifying some of these people where they are. I must say that Parliament is finding it difficult in even tracing some of the addresses of such senior officials. And I know through the police you've got the PPU, if I'm not mistaken, that protects the VIPs, and through that structure you can certainly assist us. I want to, I think, are there any other issues that have missed out, members, pertaining to those that must be? I know you have a board. We did see Sierra 14, some of the board members which had Commissioner Fandeza, Ndebele Chivayo. I think you then had Mr. Munyaza Wuzie and Mr. Chanakira. I think there's one more missing who was part of that company. They equally need to be here so that they can respond to issues, to what was going on in the organization. The assistant clerk, Mr. Gandiwa, did show us the correspondence that she had sent to us, but they equally must be here to respond to issues pertaining to that company, the Diamond Company, which they were running on behalf of the ZRP.
Well understood, Honorable Chair. I'll do likewise. Thank you.
I want to apologize to other members who have come all the way for this session, which unfortunately will have to be adjourned to the 9th of April on a Monday, 9 o'clock, when we all should be here. What I know it's been very difficult up and down, but in the interest of bringing this to thing closure, certain people have to be here. And if they're not here, we'll keep going back and forth. And we want to bring this issue to closure once and for all, with all the parties here. So I want to apologize most sincerely on behalf of the committee to members who are coming in particular, Commissioner General. I know you have a lot of work to do, but you have humbled yourself by constantly appearing before us. We don't take that for anything other than your very good commitment to the duty that you have. We will thank you for that, and other city officials as well, and those who are also not in office. Honorable Chidako, I want to also thank you for availing yourself. Dr. Ignatius Chombo, you've been very patient. Twice you've been here. Things have not progressed the way you want them to. We also take responsibility as Parliament in also notifying you a bit late. I think your concerns were noted, Commissioner General. It's also upset for Parliament to also send you a letter today and say you must come tomorrow. We'll also deal with that from an in-house point of view. We've taken note of that, and we'll also deal with it from an in-house point of view. Moving forward, are there any other issues that might arise for the 9th? Are you all able to make it on the 9th of April? Dr. Chomba, I saw your hand was up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I really want to thank you for suggesting that this meeting be postponed, because if other individuals who are relevant to the issues you want to discuss are not in, that means the issues will not be concluded again. So I was going to suggest that maybe all individuals you want to see on the 9th, they should receive a letter from the Clerk of Parliament summoning them to appear, like you did the last time. But I also would suggest that maybe do it early, so that those that are not able to come are able to notify you in advance, not on the day of the meeting like today. I was also going to make a second suggestion that Comrade Chidakwa and I are former ministers. You also want the current ministers there, so that if there are documents to be made available, they were made available by the current ministers and not by us. We will be there to talk about issues that happen during our tenure only. But sometimes you need the records which are under the superintendence of the current minister. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But I think it makes a lot of sense. And when I talked to who's a former lecturer, but your friend was giving you advice. You actually did so that is certainly taken on board. It is well received by members of Parliament. It makes sense. So that's why we've said that the Permanent Secretary Nesu Nudawafa, Honorable Chitando must equally be here, and I think we will do that as Parliament to ensure that they are here. Other than that, there will be no other business if there are no other issues. That yes, Mr. Mkoko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to be allowed to request that I don't attend on the 9th because apparently my schedule dictates that I have to be leaving tomorrow night, and I'll only be available in May or June. So if I can be allowed, it's just to excuse myself for the 9th, and then again further, if I can also be allowed to just submit 1 or 2 documents which I prepared for this session.
Yeah, I think what's critical about your issue is it's unique, and I think you've come very far. Your issues, I think you can take off, and we'll give you at least 10 minutes to present your issues. It was critical that the Commissioner General listens to your issues, so that when he responds to what you have to say. Members, what do you think? Just for 10 minutes, because I think the evidence that he...
Chairman, I think it's in order.
Okay, Mr. Mkoko, take off, and then you can then present your report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's just 2 issues that I wanted to...
You can take off first, and then we can engage.
I, Chairman Mkoko, do take oath and swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Mkoko, you are aware of why you are here. First of all, I'll remind you again that you are the Chief Security Officer of Bada Diamonds. When you appeared before us, the all evidence you gave was pertaining to the takeover all the mines by the police, in which troops were deployed. As such, I will give you the floor to give us a report on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I guess I will need to go to repeat the same report that I gave last time, because the circumstances are still the same. What happened is, like I said on Monday, it was on the 22nd of February 2016, maybe around probably between 11 and 12 o'clock, somewhere there, when I got reports of a convoy of police officers that had approached our main gate and was requesting entry into the concession. And according to the setup that we had, every movement into the concession had to be cleared, just to make sure that we allow people with business to do inside. And if it's the police, they have a constitutional duty to get into any place, but obviously that has to be communicated, and but on this particular day, when I got the message, the minute I tried to drive towards the main gate, I then met the convoy before I got to the main picket, because they had already forced their way through, dispossessed the guards.
I think if you just hold on there, members were not chanting as we can. We will guide different parties who should respond to this, so that when we come to responding, this mainly is for the Commissioner General, former Minister of Home Affairs, former Minister of Mines, Honorable Chidakwa, the Permanent Secretary for Home Affairs, who is equally here. So you must just take note of that, so that when we get to that point,
Anyway, Honorable Chair, let me continue. When I met this convoy, I stopped my motor car before getting to where the convoy was, and immediately the convoy stopped. A number of police officers disembarked from the trucks and the bus and proceeded towards me. Then, as soon as they got to where I was,
can you tell us the PIN number? How many police officers what number can you give us?
the number, Honorable Chair, was around 200. They were around 200. The majority of them were armed with AK rifles. So when they approached me, there was people in civilian clothes who identified themselves as Minister of Mines officials. And I still recall one by the name Benaya Mabodzo. And amongst the police officers, I realized the most senior was a superintendent, a lady. So as soon as they got to me, the guys in civilian clothes demanded that I be searched. And when I requested as to why am I being searched, I was just told by the uniformed policeman that you just have to submit because we're taking instructions from the Minister of Mines. When they say you have to be searched, you have to be searched. I objected to that, but then for the sake of progress, I submitted and then I was searched. My communication radio was taken away, but then when they demanded to check my cell phone, I refused to give them because that's my own personal property. Then the next thing I was told that we've come to take over the mine. And so I went ahead and demanded documentation that authorizes them to come and take over the mine because I didn't know anything about it. I was told that there were no documents to be given. These are orders from the minister. So I then phoned the Mbada head office to find out if this is true. I was informed that there is nothing like that. As far as Mbada was concerned, the minister had given the company 90 days to remove its equipment. That is that's the communication I got from Mbada head office. So the fact that the police were there to take over together with the Minister of Mines was something new to the company. Then the next demand from the police and the mines officials was, can you please switch off the CCTV, hand over the keys to the vault, switch off your communication radios, and check every employee from outside the concession, from within the concession, take them out, including the guards. So at this point, I indicated that if we are to check out the guards and switch off the CCTV, literally we'll be circumventing our own security systems. And in any case, if something is to happen, no one will be able to manage the situation. And then I also pointed out that even by switching off the communication system, the police having large numbers on the scene, even if they have to deploy the whole concession, there was no way they were going to coordinate the operation properly. There was unique communication to have a coordinated operation. But again, no one seemed to take it of that. As we're talking, instructions were given to the police to go to the control room and switch off the CCTV and all the communication network. I think at this point, Honorable Chair, I want to stress that the way the security system was conducted at Mbada was we had a lot of CCTV coverage, more than 100 cameras covering the whole concession, covering the critical points that were identified. And this was backed up by more than 100 dogs and about 200 security guards, together with reaction teams. And you had a backup of about 10 armed special tactics troop members from ZRP. So you'll appreciate that this kind of setup to secure that concession was actually adequate. But now if we were to just cripple everything and leave it in the hands of 200 policemen without communication, without electronic surveillance equipment to see what's happening, automatically the whole security is destroyed. Everything then, becomes, is then at the risk of theft or vandalism. So anyway, the police were given instructions. They went ahead, switched off the CCTV, switched off the radios, and then when I insisted that since we have come to take over, then can we have a formal written handover takeover? The response was that we don't have time for that, we are busy. We don't have time for documentation. And maybe I should stress that in the whole concession with millions of dollars worth of equipment, ore, and diamonds that were sitting in the vaults. Maybe talking of the ore, this is piles and piles of high-grade conglomerate where the diamonds were actually being retrieved from. So all that has a value. But now we're just being told there can't be a handover takeover. There can't be a written, handover takeover. And maybe talking of the CCTV, the issue there was it had the capacity to store data for more than 3 months. So that means should anything happen within 3 months, you are still able to review what happened. But so by being ordered to switch off, that means you're literally destroying, the possibility of you having an electronic record of what will be happening within the concession. So when I realized that the police were not prepared to take my advice, the mines officials were not prepared to take my advice, I then said, okay, in the absence of a written handover takeover, we can still go ahead and I'll show you what is there. So I took them through the concession and showed them the stockpile, the stockpiles of high-grade conglomerates. I went to each and every XRT, which is actually a self-contained vault on its own. I showed them the lock boxes that were there containing the diamonds. And since the police had come at a time when sorting was taking place, and now that the employees had just been told to go out, as we were going into the sort houses, there were cups of diamonds sitting in the glove boxes, which I then took and bent in the presence of mines officials and the police. After that, we locked the XRTs, the police and the mines officials took over the keys. Then I put numbered seals belonging to Mbada on those doors as well, just to make sure that, since I don't have the keys, just to make sure that no one opens, those places. So thereafter, we were then marshaled out of the red zone. I think around 2 or 3 o'clock, I started receiving calls that already vandalism was taking place, thefts were taking place. So I went up the mountain where we have a water reservoir. That point gives you a 360, a bird's eye view of the whole concession. So from that point, I could see groups of people, women, children, the elderly, all coming into the concession from different directions. And you could see some, assisting one another to take off the solar panels for the camera towers. So I went down, advised the police that this is what is happening. And again, no one responded to the information that I was bringing forward. Then the next day, I then got information that the minister was going to be visiting the concession to see what is happening. I think from the news that was coming on the radio, it appeared like already there was chaos in the diamond fields. That was all over the news. So when I heard that the minister was going to be heading a delegation to the mine, I called my core managers together. Then we drafted a brief report highlighting the issues that had happened, the vandalism, the thefts, the concerns about there being no formal handover takeover. We documented all that. And then because of the tension that was there, I realized that I was not going to, there was a possibility I was not going to have the chance to see the minister. So I gave copies of the document to the other corps managers. And then when the plane came in, which was having the minister and his delegation, I brought it to the airstrip. But before that would go far, I was manhandled by the police and mines officials and told in no uncertain terms that I was not supposed to be at that place, and I was given armed escort to escort me out of the concession. But then that gave the chance to my other team members to mingle with, the other people who were there, and managed to get to Mbada Heights where the briefing was supposed to take place. And I waited at Hot Springs until my other guys had come out. So when they came out, they indicated to me that they did not have the opportunity to do a verbal brief, but they got the chance to hand over the document to the minister, or to the then Minister of Mines. So my assumption now was, if he got the documents, at least he now has a picture of what is happening. And they also told me that they did a tour of the concession together with the minister, visited the various places in the mine. And then, so realizing that there was nothing else that we could do with, try to do the level best that we can do. So I then said, okay guys, we can go home. I'm also going home. So I drove to Harare. On my way to Harare, I received a number of phone calls too. I think I still remember 2 phone calls. One from Assistant Commissioner Mudede, and the other one, I can't remember the name, but it was a mines official who was now saying to me, look, the situation is not good. Can you come back so that at least we can exchange notes and you can advise us on how we can best manage the chaos that is there. Then I said, look, I can't come back now because I wouldn't want to come.
Commissioner General or Assistant Commissioner for Mines, are you aware of the Assistant Commissioner's name that is being mentioned?
District Honorable Chair, the General for State Commission, President.
You see why I said even the...
But Honorable Chair, I was going to ask me one or two questions to the presenter. He says the 200...
Right. So when they phoned me, I said I cannot come back because I can't take the decision to come back as an individual, because I work for a company, and if I'm to come back, then I'll be coming back as the company. So their communication must be directed to the same company that has been driven out. So I said, under those circumstances, I can come back. So then on the evening of that day, I think it was during the 8 o'clock news, I remember seeing the then Minister of Mines giving a brief to the media to say he has been to Chiadzwa and everything that is being said about the chaos there was not true, and to the best of his knowledge, everything is under control. The situation is under control. That was on the news. And that was actually at variance with, what I had witnessed on the ground and what I had put in the document that I believe was presented. And then the next day, I got instructions to go and make a report at Marange Police Station about the cases that I'd witnessed of vandalism. I went to Marange, but the officer in charge could not take the report, indicating that he's under instructions not to take down reports from the mining companies. And then I found it very, very strange, so I had to call back to Harare. And then after some interventions done in Harare, they were able to take the report I think around 7 at night, when I had actually got to Marange police station around 10 in the morning. So on that day in the morning, I got a phone call from one of the general workers who used to work for Mbada. Apparently, we had left about, I think it was about 150 employees whom the mines officials and the police had requested that we leave behind so that they can assist in terms of running the generators and other critical infrastructure. So one of the guys phoned me and said, the police have been saying there's a box that has been stolen from one of the XRTs. And then when I said, can you give me more details? He said, well, when this report was tabled in the briefing, we were then told to go out and leave only the police in the briefing. So he didn't have many details. So he just said, the minute we heard that a box has been stolen, we were told to leave the room. So I then realized that maybe it's true that a box containing diamonds could have been stolen, but then I couldn't understand how it could get stolen, because at every strong room that we had put some cells, the police had deployed police members on each and every one of those places. So afterwards, I think we did about a week without going back to the mine, because there were court processes taking place. After the court process, I think it should have been on the 27th, when we were told to go back. I went back with my team of about 150 who were denied entry. We came back again. Then there was another second court session, and the judge said that previous order still stands. So we went back again to the mine. It's only at that point that we were then allowed to go in. Then when we went into the concession, I then discussed with Assistant Commissioner Mbede and Assistant Commissioner Dube to say, before I can engage my guys in these security operations for the mine, we need to go through so that I understand what is there, and so that tomorrow I know exactly what the situation was when we came back. So when we went into the red zone, the first thing I realized was there was quite a large crowd of people on the area which we normally term Mbada Ridge, where this high-tech conglomerate originates from. So there were children, women, the elderly, the youths, everything. They were all grouped there, busy, panning and sun, just moving around. And this was about 20, 30 meters away from where the police were, and maybe about 50 meters away from that particular gate again, which was being manned by the police. So I raised a concern to say, why are these people here when we actually have a deployment? And they don't seem to care or to panic even when they see the police officers, which will indicate that maybe this is normal. So I then said at that point, I think we need to mobilize a team and drive these people out. That's when I deployed some of my guys to take over the dogs, to go and collect their dogs, team up with the police, and then drive those partners out. So as we went in, there was signs of damage all over the place. Cameras had been removed or vandalized. Solar panels, some of them had been removed. Some of them vandalized and left on the ground. The stockpiles of conglomerate, the volumes had gone down. And when we got to what we termed the XRT number 5, which was where the missing box was, I realized the doors had been welded into position. Then I said, can we, at least be allowed to see what is happening, what's inside? Then I was told by Mbede that, this, we don't discuss this. So I never got the chance to see what was inside. Then when checking all the other XRTs, I realized it was the same story. All the doors were welded into position. So there came a time when we received communication from the mines officials that a window period has been opened for us to dispose of whatever diamonds were remaining in the vaults. So I communicated with the head office, and then that's when the mines officials organized a welder to come with a grinding machine, and some grinding was done on the doors and they were opened. Then on XRT number 5, as soon as we went in, as soon as we opened the door, there was a box lying next to the door, open. And according to the setup that I had left there, there was not supposed to be any boxes lying around. So the minute I saw that, I realized something wrong must have happened. And that went on to confirm what I did from that other guy earlier on. So I went into the strong room, only to realize that where the box was supposed to be on the docking station, everything had been broken and there was no box. And then that's when I realized that could be the box that was there, but already it was empty. And then when I tried to ask what was happening, I was told again, no, we don't discuss this. Then eventually I had to try and find out what was happening. So the only information I managed to establish was that this thing happened on the night of 24-25.
Sorry, just on the point of priority, the personnel that you're dealing with at this point in time, you said you cannot, was it police or the Ministry of Mines?
It was a team comprised of police and Ministry of Mines. But when I was talking about the box, I was getting the answer from Assistant Commissioner Mdede. He is the one who then say, no, we don't want to discuss this.
In the Ministry of Mines, who was actually in the team?
There was one Benaya Mabodza, and I can't remember the other guys, but Benaya Mabodza, he was the one who was saying he's heading that particular team. But from my own assessment, even when we're discussing critical issues, what I picked up was most of the guys that had come in on that particular day were really not senior people. They were people maybe who might say probably low-level employees. They were not senior people, because there are certain things that when you discuss with a senior person, you can actually pick out that I'm discussing with a senior person, and these are supposed to be things that make sense to anybody senior. So from where I stand, I could see that the guys that the mines ministry pushed on, especially to the Bada concession, were probably low-level employees. So when I tried to make my own investigations to find out what might have happened to the box, I realized that the incident might have happened on the night of 24-25. And then, but the official report with CID Minerals Mintari was 27. It was dated 27. So again, that appeared a bit strange to me, to say something, as serious as this can happen 24-25.
So 24-25 of which month, which year?
Of February 2016.
I'll be talking about Commissioner General, who was commanding on duty. Thank you.
And then now the report was bearing the date of 27. So then I was saying, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this is a serious matter, and what really would be the cause for the delay in making an official report? It didn't make sense to me. So I think afterwards, maybe after about a week or two, that's when the police officers started coming to me to say they need a statement about those missing diamonds, which statement I did submit to them, and indicating again exactly what I know and what I think might have happened. So during the whole period, I think the line of questioning was, tell us the value of what is missing. In which case I was saying, I can't give a value, because normally you only get to give a value when you know exactly the number of carats that are there and the grade. That's when you can possibly attach a value. So in this case,
So I'll ask you to just round up, because you just made a document which you could sign, which will give a copy to the police, and we have a copy. So just try and summarize.
So I think, Honorable Chair, like I've narrated, that's basically what transpired. And but what kind of troubled me a bit was the absence of urgency in trying to conduct investigations. That was one. And the manner in which the whole takeover was done, especially when you look at, because my understanding is normally such things happen at the board level. You know, if there is any changes to be done, those are done at the board level, but you don't come in and, you know, disable the security systems of the same company that you say you want to take over the resources. So when we disable everything and leave everything at the mercy of thieves and, you know, vandalism, we're actually destroying the value of that entity. So in short, we're saying we are taking over an entity that we have literally downgraded from where it was, you know, and to me it didn't make sense. So I think...
Ask you a few questions.
Yes.
You sound so confident within law. Can you give us your background?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm a former senior officer in the ZRP. I retired 2010 with the rank of superintendent. And I think during that period, I'm
superintendent in charge of operations, admin, crime. Where were you assigned?
The greater part of my service, I was an operations man. Then the lesser part, yes, I did administration, but the greater part was operations. And maybe I should add that I have a number of courses, you know, that I've done. For instance, the junior officers command course done by the ZRP. I was the best student in my in my class. I attended the junior staff course at Zimbabwe Military Academy. Sorry, at the Zimbabwe Staff College. I've got a BTEC level 4 qualification in security coordination and management. I've got a master's in leadership, and you know, so I think when I talk of what I'm talking about, I'm talking from an informed position.
Last my question to you, in line with the training that you received, I'm sure you also went through police table.
Yes.
Training. Is this in line with what the police are supposed to do? You went to tomorrow's table, so the police was that in order?
I think what is strange, Honorable Chair, is that in situations like this, where there's a senior officer in charge of a team of police officers, you expect him to be giving to be taking informed decisions and giving reasonable instructions to his team or to a team. But in this particular instance, I found it strange to see a senior officer saying, I'm taking instructions from mines officials. To me, that's not how the police operate. That's not it.
The way the police descended, this is from the mining aspect, the way the police descended on Marangi, the education you received from Mumma's table, was that in line with good practice of the police?
I wouldn't say it's in line with good practice. But again, it's a command issue.
Thank you. You will give us that document signed, we'll give a copy to Commissioner General, and we have a copy. All say we're not in witch hunting, it's this information that we receive orally, and we don't need to hide anything, it's to just inquire in terms of the governance side of things. Commissioner General, you wanted to seek clarity.
Thank you, Chair. I've got 3 questions directed to my former senior officer. One, he talks of a contingent of 200 officers who were deployed in Chiazwa. And the commander was a superintendent, but he's not mentioning of the name. Being a former superintendent, I think you should be aware of the other superintendent.
The name is Marenga.
Thank you.
Are you aware of the name Marenga in your forces?
It should be Murenga, not Marenga.
Marenga. I think by then she was in deputy.
Fair and fine. The second one is, he was talking of instructions coming from a minister. He's also not mentioning the name.
I think the point was the instructions which were being given were from the minister.
Which minister? Could it be
no,
the man behind me or anyone else?
I think, you answer, but from what I heard is that the officer on the ground, police officer, was receiving instructions from the minister of mines. So I think, do you know who the
Which minister
was?
Actually, they didn't mention any names. They were saying we're under instructions from the Minister of Mines.
There is a danger, Honorable Chair, of just blaming certain people. That's why I'm saying, if it was 2000 and so, I didn't know that it was Minister so and so. So there's a danger of me approaching a wrong person, and I'll be getting sued for.
Okay, I want to help you, Commissioner General. When we deal with that danger, he's named the person who was receiving instructions. So we're inviting that person here to then ask the person, who were you taking the instructions from? We are quite thorough, because we don't want hearsay. And who is the person who was taking instructions from the minister, who was reporting, who you were asking? Do you know the name?
From what I got, there was Benaya Mabota and Suftian Marim.
Okay. So we shall invite them, so that we have no speculation or anything that is not what happened.
Honorable Chair, my third and last question is, he's talking of a box. It was supposed to be a special box containing what? Diamonds, gold, what was it? And where was this box? Was it in a vault or from some storeroom? Can that be very clear to me?
Okay, can you just clarify that to the Commissioner?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We were talking about a box, the dog box for diamonds, and it was in the strong room. The one that I called the XRT number 5.
Honorable Chair, once more, so it was a box containing diamonds. And how many carats of diamonds were in the box? Thank you.
Like I indicated earlier on, when you are doing the sorting, we don't weigh each and every recovery that you do. You sort and you bank. The weighing is only done in the presence of the police and mines officials when we are removing the box from the vault for onwards transmission to the slaughterhouse in Harare. So since we're not preparing for any movement of the diamonds, there was no weighing done. So from that point of view, I'm not in a position to say exactly how many carats were there.
That is the proper process, Commissioner General.
I'm done.
The question which you answer is, those 19, did they have the right? That's really where the question is going. What was in is not important. It's the lawful acts which are critical. So we'll not hide away from you. You will get that, and on the day, you'll be given a chance to respond to that according to the Constitution, where you must also protect people's property. I remember you reading that to us. The role of the police is to also protect the property of the people.
Honorable Chair, now that I will take on the 9th, I think, and I want to assure the House that I will be having the answers. Thank you.
Because I was impressed that you also know the officer who was mentioned. You actually did correct him. It's also quite impressive. Commissioner General knows all his officers, even the way their names are written. So I'm
Honorable Chair, like I promised you last time, I'm still investigating, and unfortunately for now I haven't finished the investigations, but by the 9th of April I think I'll be through the investigation. I thank you.
You investigate and you also arrest, and we also assure you that I thought it was to arrest in order to investigate, but now you are investigating in order to do what? I think that would be... I was hoping that the operations Commissioner General then, if I'm not mistaken, was Matibili, the crime as well. I thought they'd also be here, because some of these issues are operational.
Unfortunately today, Honorable Chair, I'm on my own today with my aide here. The issue here for my appearance was just come here to ask for a summer extension. Coincidentally, unfortunately, we've already extended the time for my investigation. So really, come the 9th of April, I think I'll be ready with all the others. Thank you.
You were very smart today, Commissioner General. You did not say we are not ready. You actually asked for time saying we got our letters late. You did not say all your command is here. So Mr. Shane, will you please give me time to get my command here? But anyway, we look forward to seeing you on the 9th of all the parties involved. I'm sure it makes sense why the officer in charge of the area must be here, the district commanding, so that we have clarity to this. And to also, Dr. Chombo, on your lecture to us, I communicated this to the committee. We also found it prudent to also invite the then Minister of Home Affairs, the Vice President Mahadi, Minister of Defense, the Secretary, and the Minister of State Security, did Masintas. So it's only proper that they also are here after the good lecture that you gave us. So you can say the committee has got very good students who will listen to it. So that will be our response to you. It's only fair and it's only proper that those ministers who are presiding those ministries are equally here. So we shall be writing to them. Thank you, and yes, Commissioner General.
Honorable Chair, the other time you said, and you really correctly said, we operate on orders. And for my contingent maybe to be in Chiazwa, to be ordered to be in Chiazwa, obviously it was an order coming from somewhere. So it would be very unfair at some point maybe to say who ordered you to do this and that. Can I ask this House to go through the processes and ask the authorities how this came about? Because at the end of the day, it might not be easy for me to say I was ordered by so and so. The authorities, of course, came from above after some various considerations. So can that be verified maybe before the 9th of April, before we come here, so that when I give out information, I will be really sure of what I will be saying. Thank you.
We should actually will pertain to your role as Commissioner General. And the committee has even resolved that the former president will equally come, but he only comes when we have gone through all institutions that he was responsible. For you to know, it's on record that the committee has resolved for the former president to come, but we can only invite him with the information that leads to him being head of state responsible for all institutions. So we are leaving no stone unturned. Thank you. I think if we could get that documentation, Mr. Mkoko, and if it's not done, you must put it properly, sign it, and also give it to the police so that the Commissioner General is able to continue with his investigations. We want to thank you for attending once again. It's not witch hunting we're trying to go through. At times we will miss certain issues and key people. If you know of any, I think it's important for you to also let the committee know of people who are also critical in this, so that we leave no stone unturned. Thank you, and have a great weekend, and happy Easter, If I was Commissioner General, I would say to you, drive safely, don't drink and drive. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.